Hey everyone, traders, friends, and family. Welcome to statistically my most profitable day of the week. That's why I spell it Wednesday, W-I-N-S-D-A-Y. Let's hop into some stocks that you requested and that I think might be moving, look at some analysis, talk about them, and enrich lives together. You rock. I'll see you in the video. Hey traders from around the world, what's going on? It's your boy Jerremy Newsome with reallifetrading.com. Trust you're doing absolutely splendidly serendipitous. We got ourselves the SPY on the boards and not much happening today. Pretty much, and for all intents and purposes, today is a perfectly small and cute inside day candle. I like it, it looks good, it's hanging out, very little volume, we're just chilling. And the 200 simple moving average is right here, right in front of our face. So we are coiling and compressing between the 100 and the 200 simple. Really pretty much just a dry day. If you got some good trades this morning, there were a few out there. Congratulations. I mean, that's a really great, wonderful, well-placed trades. We're gonna go look at a few. But yeah, as far as just the broader markets, it definitely was a little bit thin out there. The Qs, relatively the same thing. I mean, ended up inside candle, hitting the 200, just hanging out. So my thought on this one is just waiting to see if and when we do get these, nice little retests on the Qs. Or obviously, that's my alarm to do this review. On the Qs, also it could trade sideways and break out. That's also possible. So we'll just have to see. I mean, if the trend continues, great. And if it doesn't, and it really crashes hard, probably gonna get stopped out on some bullish swing trades, and then when I get stopped out, I'll be hopping back into some as well on that swing low. So we'll just have to see what happens. But that is the Qs. Really, just again, truly some solid gaps out there this morning. Let's go look at Activision Blizzard and TTWO Interactive. These were two that I think a lot of traders could have benefited from. ATVI gapping down from really the TTWO Interactive and the EA Sports gap down. This was a bearish gap and go, obviously white candle gapping down. And here is the, we'll go to a few different time frames. Here's the 1 minute chart. And the 1 minute chart on Activision, you'll notice that it just as soon as it opened, just started free falling. So you really wouldn't have had a good shot at playing anything on the 1 minute chart. Here's the 5 minute chart from today. And there were some really interesting trades to be had on ATVI. First and foremost, you have this parallel moving average right here and this low of the day break. So Activision, you can see, barely makes a new low of the day by pennies. And this is where all the newbies hop on short. They think this is the time to get in bearish, nice parallel moving average, and unfortunately they get squeezed out. We actually had a few traders play that bullish move on either Activision or TTWO Interactive, one of the two, and we're able to catch a nice little gain on that trade. Then secondly, the beautiful setup, and for those of you who were there during the free week, you might remember, and it is still recorded in the playlist at Real Life Trading, that one of the trades I like the most is when you get, later in the afternoon, one of the trades I like the most is when you get like the stock pulls into the 10 and the 20 and then throws in a nice lower shadow kind of at the 10. One of those two candles could have been a great place to enter. So this was, in fact, a perfect tweezer top. Then you got this nice little lower shadow got thrown in right there below the 10, in between the 10 and the 20. So your entry would have been right below the low of that candle, and your stop would have been simply right above the tweezer or above this wick right here, so somewhere like that. But either way, probably would have exited a small position at the low of the day, and then exit a little bit more down here, and got trailed out for a small gain. That pretty much would have been it on Activision. And then TTWO was very similar. Here is TTWO, and TTWO, very similar pattern, except the fade was even easier to spot on TTWO Interactive, right? Quick trade down, trade up, trade down, makes a brand new low just by a few pennies. Look at this volume. Huge volume coming in. A lot of the bears who took the low of the day break are short. You can see we had that parallel moving average and just a gorgeous high wave candle with an inside bullish hammer candle following it. So your entry is probably around here, the stop probably down here. And again, that was good for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on how you play that on TTWO Interactive. And then, right, we broke above the 20, came down in between the 10 and the 20, threw in that lower shadow, entry below there, stop above there, nice rollover towards the low of the day. So again, beautiful trade on Take-Two Interactive. Here is the daily chart on Take-Two, and that was just, I mean, that is / was the gap of your dreams. I mean, you have to just love that gap, right? It opened right in my sweet spot, that 9% zone, that 4 to 12%, really the area that I'm looking for. And that was just a nice gap right below all of support. Feel free to print that one out because it is beautiful. Another stock, NIO. A lot of people are keeping their eyes on this one because it does appear like it's breaking out with volume. Closing above this resistance. So we will be looking at playing NIO on a pullback and a retracement to see if we can catch this little channel breakout on NIO. That looks pretty nice and kind of cute. NVIDIA today, NVDA actually closed up 2%, traded right into the 50 EMA on the daily and just kind of paused there. That also just happened to be the 10 EMA on a weekly. So again, NVIDIA bouncing out of this pennant pattern that occurred. Here's the daily chart. And this pennant pattern right here on NVDA, just a nice pennant. It could have broken in either direction, and obviously it broke out bullish. And after that breakout, I mean, you could have played NVIDIA a time or two on a few different time frames for a small bullish game. So that is NVDA. Facebook didn't really do that much today, just honestly for the most part hanging out, closing at 170.49. Looking like it's just gonna slowly keep creeping higher, honestly. Here's the hourly chart, and the hourly chart looks pretty good. You got some moving averages, they're just slowly grinding higher. The daily chart, you know, we're making higher highs and higher lows. Here's your long-term moving average, so we're above the 200. Things are starting to look a little bit better and looking a little bit more on the up and up for Facebook, slowly hanging out and doing its thing. Here is American Airlines, AAL. American Airlines hanging out. Dividends came out the other day. Here's the weekly chart. Nothing really intrinsically exciting on American Airlines. Although I do like this bearish high wave candle from the 7th of January that week, and then we closed above it the 14th. So if American Airlines does pull back another 10% into 33.68, I think that could be a cool spot to look to snag that trade. Speaking of snagging a trade, gotta give a shout out to my buddy Kevin Stone down there in the Florida area for getting 0.4 Rs on Snap. I gave him a frequent trader point because he beat me on this one. Here is the daily chart, and this was a beautiful gap on Snapchat. It was a retest gap, and I did think that it could have traded into the 200 simple on the daily. It got very close. So I actually was not bearish on this morning in the first few minutes. And you can see, I mean, it did have a beautiful S-curve, right? Broke higher, trade down, bounce. This is where all the newbies got on, bullish, and you know, up 25%. That's the time to buy, right? So Snapchat, nice move. I mean, you definitely made some money on that one if you played it bullish, most likely. My buddy Robert Falco made a little bit of chump change, some lunch money on Snapchat. And then later in the day, we faded it. So here is the 15-minute chart, and the 15-minute chart, here's the 10 EMA. So once it closed below the 10 EMA, which was right here at 1:30 Eastern, you know, had an inside candle, we got in bearish, and you know, a very small gain. Most traders didn't make a lot of money on this one, but my boy Kevin Stone held it almost right to the close. Abs of steel and exit for a 0.4 R gain. So again, this was a very, very small gain for most traders. It didn't really do that much, but you know, we didn't lose on it, so I guess that's kind of cool on Snapchat. But anyway, nice little fade opportunity. That was pretty much doing this thing. Shutterfly, SFLY. My buddy David was looking at playing Shutterfly bullish, and mostly once it broke the high of the day and retested. Check this out. So I go to a 5-minute chart. Look at how beautiful this bad boy takes out the high of the day, breaks out the high of the day, retests the high of the day, super tight consolidation, and then pops out of there. Well done, David. Congrats. Beautiful play on Shutterfly. And right now, that's just, you know, hanging out for the most part. I didn't really have any other requests. So remember, if you have any requests or want me to look at any specific stocks, feel free to just throw those in the comments section below. Happy to look at pretty much anything at all that you want me to check out. I would be most pleased and privileged to do so. Let's go look at one more, which is Visa. And Visa, I want to give a shout out to Michael, who did spot a really good day trade on Visa. You can see it was a white candle gapping up. So it was a retest gap, so you're expecting this gap to fill. And then, we gapped down today lower than the open of yesterday. So we definitely were trapping some people. Here was the 5-minute chart on Visa. And what you had was initially, a big bullish candle, a trade up, a really nice rundown, gorgeous S-curve, kind of back towards that previous low of the day. And then you got a good bullish candle. Here's the double top, boom, boom, boom. Close below the neckline on this candle. That's the retest of the neckline. That's the failure. That's the roll down to the low of the day. And that's your ball game. Would have been good for a good R and some change. But again, good job tracking that and finding that trade, Michael. Very pretty. Well done. Actually, I'll look at one more. I'll look at Amazon. Amazon today, just slowly creeping. It's trading sideways. Here's the hourly chart. And it's really not doing all that much. Last time I looked at Amazon, my thoughts were, if you're playing it, look to do bear call spreads probably expiring this week up here, and bull put spreads expiring this week down here. Right now, it's just chopping, buy low, sell high on a really tight time frame, zoom in and crush some Amazon spreads. Also, want to throw this out there. My buddy Andrew had his best day ever today. And this guy was just absolutely on fire. So Andrew went 4 for 4 on his day trades, up 7.9 Rs for the month. And then he posted his trades in here in the Slack channel. This is the channel that all the traders who signed up last week got access to. And then he took Zendesk. He played this one. This is one I was about 13 seconds too slow, but we were looking at it. The goal was to set this up and to get into this trade. And it was a nice, if I go back over to Zendesk, it really was a good bullish gap and go that just happened to fade really quickly. So here's the 5-minute chart. And when I started really looking at it was right around here. This big bearish candle makes an obvious new low. Look at all the bearish candles you have in a row. Boom, 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 boom. Tons of bearish candles in a row. Already made its 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure down. So we were looking at playing it for a quick little fade. And some players and traders made some money off of Zendesk today. I do suggest kind of keeping your eyes on this one because, again, it is a nice gap. Most likely get a small doji tomorrow, but could easily continue higher. Pretty much anything with the name desk in it right now is crushing. TTD, the trade desk has been on absolute fire, and then Autodesk, ADSK, has been putting in some absolute monumental moves as well. A lot of overextensions out there, just looking for some slowdowns and some dip buying opportunities. Let's see what we can find. I will be back Friday. If you have any requests between now and then, hit me up. You rock. Bye. Boom, that's it. Wednesday stock review wrapped up, delivered for you. Thank you for watching. Make sure to click that subscribe button because I do this 3 times every single week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I have more coming next week. I have so much content and I want you to check out this video right here because if you like this one, you'll love that one. You rock.